Hello, and welcome here to the Double M Farm. This is my 1991 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ80. Yes, it is the 1991, the dreaded 91 and 92. The underpowered F engine, 3F engine that so many people are so scared of because they just don't have enough power. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. I've owned this vehicle for about 20 years now. I was the second owner. And there are a lot of things you can do to that 3FE engine to give it a whole lot more power. And we'll briefly discuss some of it. It was the basic silver color when we got it. And if any of you know anything about silver color, it's real bad to fade out. So I have painted it. I use it mostly on the farm and off-road, and so I don't really worry about scratches. I painted it with rattle cans. That's Ace Hardware paint in spray cans. The tan and then the black trim. I used the roll vinyl stick camouflage on the back end and then put a snorkel on it. That's one of the accessories we've added to it. That is a functioning snorkel. It's not there for looks. It's a functioning snorkel. Now, what can you do to help the power of these things? We'll get under the hood in a minute, talk about that. One of the things you can do is get as much weight off of it as you can. I took out the third row seats. You have to be willing to make some sacrifices to get a little extra power out of this 3FE engine. Took out the back seats, third row seats. Now, I'd never used them, so I took them out. A lot less weight. I even took out all of the brackets and hardware. If there's a bolt that I didn't need, it came out. So there's that. Inside, one of the biggest things people say about the early model 80 Land Cruisers is no creature comforts, no cup holders. Well, that was real easy to fix. There are your cup holders. Drilled a couple of holes in the top part of the storage box, and those are cup holders I ordered off of Amazon. They're, I think, made for boats. And there's two cup holders. Plus, right here, I ordered this little box that has a storage box here, storage drawer, and then here you have two more cup holders. So I went from 0 cup holders to 4 cup holders. These two are small, perfect for coffee cups, little styrofoam coffee cups. And then these step down inside, so it'll hold a small diameter and will also hold the big gulp or whatever. Got mossy oak camo seat covers, which are faded and need replacing. Got mossy oak camo floor mats. It's really about, and the mossy oak steering wheel cover. Do have a GPS mounted here. That's really about the only major changes, I guess you'd say, on the inside. On the outside, you may have noticed as we walked around the back, I removed the rear bumper and replaced it with a piece of 5x3 angle iron, cut down, ground, and painted. Much more substantial and structurally sound bumper. On the front, if I can get to it, where I have her parked, probably should have parked her in a better place to do this. On the front, as I walk up the hill, also remove the stock front bumper, and that's a piece of 5x3 angle iron with a Harbor Freight Badlands winch, 9,000. Good little winch for the money. I know it's not a Warren. Hey, it's pulled this thing all over the place. Pulled a lot of other things out of bogs. Pulled a couple of Jeeps out of bogs, and I use it a ton on the farm. It's really a strong little winch. Got a little brush guard bolted on, and a couple of fog lights. So there's that to the outside. Got a custom exhaust, had the exhaust rerouted, and the catalytic converters are, if you know what that means, that's what the catalytic converters are. So there's, let's just say we have a high rate of airflow, and that tremendously helped the gas mileage and the power. What else did I do to help gas mileage and power? Well, don't know if it'll show up on camera, but there is no air conditioning on this unit. You know these things run 3 fan belts. Well, not if you take the air conditioner off. There is no air conditioner on this one. Not only did I unhook it and remove the belt, I removed the air conditioner. I mean everything, even the brackets that held it on. Again, you want to strip as much weight as you possibly can. That also meant I removed the cooling radiator unit for the air conditioner. It's no longer there. Have the unit for the transmission cooler, and of course the radiator, which was leaking, so I replaced it with a lighter weight plastic radiator. Something else that is really important on these older 3FE engines, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get the camera to it where you can see it, but this cable back here for the accelerator, that cable right there is adjustable. Right here, you need, if you're having problems with hesitation when you go to accelerate, it doesn't want to drop into the passing gear when you accelerate, and everyone says, "Whoo, see, it's underpowered." No, that cable probably has slack in it. This one, you saw there, the cable is straight. Before I adjusted that cable, it had a dip like that in it. There was that much slack in that cable. It's a 1991. When I did that, it was 2000, I don't know, mid-2005, I believe. So there was that many years of stretching cable. Tightened it up, and my goodness, from a dead stop, this thing will jump when you hit the accelerator. She drops right into passing gear as soon as you mash the accelerator. By putting in the oversized custom exhaust, by the catalytic converter, by removing the air conditioning unit, by tightening that cable, you'd be amazed at the difference in the driving performance of this little 3FE6. It's just, it'll never be a race car. It'll never be the Z engine. It'll definitely never be the V8 Land Cruiser. But boy, is it much, much more powerful than what a lot of people think the little 3FE can be. Just a tremendous amount of difference. Gas mileage. These things I've done to it, weight, exhaust, air conditioning, everything I've done to it, I'm getting consistently 15 to 16 miles to the gallon around town and 18 on the highway. It's not a lot, but that's a whole lot better than 12, which is what most people have been getting on these things. So you can look at, you know, and it's got to be tuned right now. Doing all of this doesn't do any good if your engine's not properly tuned and taken care of. She gets the oil changed regularly. I clean her out with seafoam, both the crankcase and the emissions. It's you know, it's not a quick fix. It's an accumulation. It's not one thing that's going to do it. It's an accumulation of all of these things. I live right at the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and I drive this thing up in those mountains all the time, and she will accelerate uphill. She drives great on steep grades. I use her towing tractors and on big trailers. It's amazing the difference in this truck from now to where she was when I bought her 20 years ago. Just amazing. It's powerful, not overly powerful. Comfortable, yes. Easy to drive, has all the power I need it to have. If I'm going to tow anything major, I'm going to get a big diesel truck or a V8. But don't think that you can't get a 91 or a 92 F engine and make a nice little engine out of her. She'll do the job if you set her up right. When I'm driving steep grades in the mountains, I drive it like it's a straight drive. That electronic transmission will not drop out of overdrive until you get down to 46 miles an hour. But they engineered it, if you've noticed, that you can go from overdrive to third gear without mashing the little button, the locking shift button. And then if you want to do more, you can mash the shift lock override. And I drive her just like a straight drive in the mountains. If I start up a steep grade, I drop her to third or I drop her to second. And I drive her up the mountain. No problems. So there you go. The 91 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ80. It can be a nice ride. It'll never be the Z engine. I'm not saying that. And definitely it'll never be the V8. But there's no reason it can't be a nice ride for you. And off-road, it's the solid axles. My goodness, I don't have to tell you, if you're familiar with Land Cruisers, I don't have to tell you what it'll do off-road. She's a sweet little off-road vehicle. You'll notice the tires, they're not heavy aggressive. I'm not a heavy off-roader. I'm more of an overland guy, camping and gravel roads. But believe me, I have had her in some bad places, and she has done a super job. She's heavy. She'll sink. She'll get stuck. But she'll get me out, too. She's never left me anywhere. Never had to walk out. So there is that. So there you go. I appreciate you visiting us here on the Double M Farm, and I hope you enjoyed this little quick tour of our 91 Toyota Land Cruiser.